The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome to the Steady Stream of New Clients webinar. Thank you for taking time out to join me today. I just wanted to check before we start, can you hear me okay? Could you raise your hand on the go-to webinar taskbar? Then I know that I'm coming through loud and clear. Thank you very much for that. Appreciated. Thanks. Thank you for doing that. I can see that you can hear me, so I can dive straight in. Today we'll take anything from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many questions I get, how much interaction or feedback. So the point is, it's all about you. So if you've got any questions, please do ask far away, because I normally charge a minimum £1,500 a day for my time. So when you've got me free of charge, I advise you to make the most of it. It will be in your interest to do so, so please do that. So we're going to talk about something that's close to my heart today as a former solicitor and now as a marketing consultant, generating clients on autopilot. I, much like you, I expect, enjoy doing what I do. I enjoy working with solicitors to win them more clients for their practice. I don't have or spend as much time as I should do marketing my own business, which might sound strange, but the reason is that I know that if I don't put in place watertight systems to market my business, just like you, when you get busy with client stuff, the marketing stops and then the pipeline stops and there's not enough new clients coming in. So the system I've built for my model and for my clients' models is to make sure that they generate new client instructions all the time, with or without them doing any monthly marketing work. It's a system I strongly advise you to follow, with or without my help, because unless you do that, you'll constantly ride the marketing roller coaster of some months having loads of clients, then stopping your marketing, then a few months later having no clients, and riding this roller coaster time and time again. So you have to put in place systems that make this happen time after time again to make sure that your life is as straightforward as it can be. So as I say, I'll share with you today the system I teach all of my consultancy clients. I'll tell you why it's important and show you how you can do it for your own practice so that things happen time and time again with or without your input. My background, very briefly, is that I trained as a legal executive whilst working and then went on to qualify as a solicitor, which took me 8 years in total. Stayed in private practice for 14 years before setting up a franchise selling promotional merchandise. The reason I did that is because I didn't want to go into marketing consultancy until I'd run my own business separate from the legal profession. I always intended to set up Samson Consulting, but I wanted to prove to solicitors that I could run my own business before saying to them, hey, this is how you should run yours. So I ran a successful franchise, which was very profitable, before moving on to Samson Consulting, which is always what I intended to do. What I didn't intend to do after that was set up a claims company. Having been a solicitor, that idea was not something that I cherished or wanted to do. But as I knew so many other solicitors, and many of them personal injury solicitors, they kept asking me to do that, which eventually I did, and it's been a great process because it's taught me an awful lot about marketing, legal services. I've spent well over £200,000-300,000 of my own money marketing legal services. So when I say to you do something in a certain way, it's because I've tested it. It's not marketing huff and puff. I've tried and tested every marketing tactic I share with you. And hopefully that's what sets me apart from anyone else out there, because most of them just run a marketing consultancy. I've got several other business interests. Everything I test and refine, I share with my clients so that they can get to the successful part much more quickly. And that's the thing about marketing. You will have failure. You have to have failure. You can't be successful until you've gone through 1, 2, or 3 failed marketing attempts. Then you find something that works. You automate that, and you go on and do the next thing. So wherever you are now, whatever your current position is, if you don't have enough clients, if you're struggling to get the profits in, I guarantee that you can change your position. I have a lot of solicitors coming to me saying they're struggling, yet all the clients I'm working with are growing their practice at the moment in the current economy, with all the challenges faced by the legal profession. They are doing well because they put in place the systems I advise them to. They know what type of work they're looking for, and they keep going after it and successfully getting it. So whatever your position at the moment is, if you're having good months and bad months, you can absolutely change that. If you think there's a type of legal service you want to provide, but you're not sure there's enough work, 99 times out of 100 there is enough work. You've just got to know how to go out and get it. So I don't want you sitting there, worrying that it's difficult, that it can't be done. It absolutely can be done. I work with hundreds of solicitors every year that do it, and the best thing I could say is ignore the Gazette, ignore the negative media. Just get on with making your practice successful, and you will undoubtedly achieve your aim. Now, during the course of today, I'm going to share what you need to do, how it works. I'm going to explain how I can help you on with a very limited monthly budget and what I can do. I'll make you an offer at the end of the webinar, which is unique to today. So I'd urge you to stay till the end. There's nothing you have to buy. I'll give you a lot of free information available, but I'll also say if you want more help from me, this is how you can get it. The other important point to stress is that everything I offer service-wise is guaranteed. You know, I know, without sounding arrogant, but I know from success to date that I know what I'm doing, and I know I can help you get from A to B much quicker. And I get a huge amount of satisfaction out of doing it. So when I started this, I didn't used to guarantee services, and solicitors were very wary, understandably. You know, you're trained to be cautious. Marketing isn't something you're trained in, so a marketing person is slightly alien and scary to you. So I realized that I could guarantee my service and take away that fear and say, look, try it, and if you're not happy, I'll refund the money. You know, I don't want unhappy clients. I spent 14 years in the legal profession, often having to deal with unhappy clients, not because of my service, but because they'd lost an arm or a leg, or some other more serious injury, and they didn't want to be dealing with me. You know, but now I deal with clients who are happy because they go from a position of not having enough clients to having enough clients. And how do they do that? Well, this beautiful drawing I've put together for you, I'm not an artist, as you probably now can tell, shows you that there's different ways of growing your business, or different methods for getting there. Now, many solicitors I meet at the bottom of this triangle, when they come to me, they're struggling. They don't have enough work coming in. So my job is to move them as quickly as possible to stability and make sure that, you know, their practice is stable and they can guarantee the income that's going to come to them. After stability comes success, and then if you really can make things happen, cream is the answer. And this is where you've got enough profit to grow your practice, to take time off, take time away from it, to enjoy it, and to you know, really enjoy the fruits of your labor. How do you get from struggle to cream? Well, normally you need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 plus marketing methods automated and in place for you. However, there is a shortcut, which it isn't a shortcut in that it doesn't happen overnight, but if you get one method right, following the systems and tools that I share with you, you absolutely can jump to the top. And that is using your website to generate leads automatically for you. If you have a good website with good traffic and it converts those visitors into clients very well, that can change things from struggling to cream. The other method is communicating with past and current clients and referrals, and those are the 3 areas I'm going to concentrate on today, because they're the 3 areas that anyone working with me on my Marketing for Solicitors membership site, or working with me one-on-one, those are the 3 areas that I cover first, because they're the ones that can make the biggest difference to you. So even if you just take what I've just shared with you there and implement one of those systems, you will transform your practice. Obviously, I hope you'll ask me to help you with that, but there's no obligation to do so. I give you information on these 3 webinars because I want to show you I do know what I'm talking about here. I have done this before, and this will work for you. So let's crack on. Firstly, look at the types of marketing methods you should be using, and this is a really simple test for you to use. When you get that call from someone saying, you can advertise with me and it's only going to cost you £1,000, and if you don't do it today, I'm going to your next door neighbour solicitor who's going to take this work and you're going to miss out. You're going to lose sleep because he's going to drive around in a Ferrari and you'll wish you spent this £1,000, and you know, absolute nonsense sales jargon, which I heard many times over my 14 years in practice, and which I'm sure you've had pitched to you many times as well. The easy way to work out whether these people are selling you something good or not is to say, is this attraction or interruption marketing? And demonstrated by the one pretty visual and the one not so pretty visual. Attraction marketing is where someone is already looking for your service, and you fan your tail like the peacock, and they're looking for you, they find you at the time they're ready to engage your services, and they come and instruct you. That's a wonderful form of marketing, the only type I suggest you focus on initially. Interruption marketing is where someone's going about their own business, they're not even thinking of choosing a solicitor, they might not even have a need for a solicitor, and suddenly you jump up in front of them and you tell them to come and use your services. Now, interruption marketing would include things like Facebook, Twitter, advertising in the papers, advertising on the radio and on television, Whereas attraction marketing would be anything like your website or talking to existing clients or being referred to someone else's clients as an expert service provider. So attraction marketing is the one. So if you have someone coming to pitch you one of those horrible products for £1,000 advertised in the back of this card or in this pamphlet or in this estate agent brochure, interruption marketing, forget it. Let your competitor waste their money there. You know better than that now. You know better, and you'll look for attraction marketing opportunities. The first one of those, the biggest one, is your website. And the reason I always start here as a priority is because if you get this right, it really will bring you all of the clients you want and need. I mean, often I have clients that worry me in a way in that they rely really heavily on their website, and I don't advise that. You need to have 2 or 3 methods. But they do that because if they get it right and set it up right, they'll get new clients day after day, week after week, month after month, without doing anything once they've automated everything. So it really is an amazing system for generating clients for you. There's 2 duties of your website. The first one is to attract new clients to it, and the second one is to turn those visitors into new clients. Arguably, the second one's more important because if you're already getting visitors to your website and you can make some tweaks to it, you can immediately increase the number of client inquiries you get. So that's a very positive and good step to take. So we'll look at both of these. So in terms of content, there's a figure now I'll share with you which is important and worth writing down. 40 to 60% of the decision-making process of Google putting your website in the search results is based on content on your page. If you do not have enough content on your page, there is no chance Google is going to rank you in its search engine ranking. So if you have enough content on your page, you have a much better chance of attracting Google, and then for those visitors that turn up at your website, you have a much better chance of turning them into prospects who get in touch with you. So you should be looking at having 400 plus words per page, and many people think that that's just too many, and that it's going to scare people off, and all of these arguments that I hear constantly. 400 words a page, well, if they get that many words from me, they'll be able to do the legal service themselves. Wrong. Just because you might explain how the service works doesn't mean the client understands or wants to do it themselves, and 99 times out of 100 they don't. So that's not going to happen. You're not sure that a website can convert for you. I've worked with many solicitors who have felt that a website can't produce clients for them, and then they've put up a website, started attracting clients, and gone, wow. I had a chat with a solicitor just a few weeks ago who said exactly that. Said, I never believed that when you said my website would attract clients, but now it does. But he was still slightly annoyed, and when I explained he could improve his website further still with some of the tips I'm going to share with you now, he was still skeptical. This was a man attracting clients, and yet he didn't want to make changes that would make him even busier, and he needed to be busier. So don't fight this. Trust me when I say I've worked with hundreds of solicitors who generate an awful lot of work from their website because they do what I suggest they do with that I'm sharing with you now. So what else do you need to do with your content and with your website? So you've got enough content on the page now. You have 400 words on your site. Now if someone would like to share a website with me, if you can type into the questions box your website address, I'll happily go through and do a live demonstration. As I say, it's much better if you do that and then get a critique of your website from someone that normally charges for it. It's your opportunity to get this free. Otherwise, I'll just go and do a search for a general website. But if you want to put your website address into the questions box, I'll happily go and have a look at that for you. And run through the changes, because the things I'm going to look at now are not obvious, but they make a big difference. Remember I said the content and what's on your page and behind it is 40% of the difference. So if you can get this right, it's really important. And someone has kindly given me a website address, which I will now type out really badly. Oh, hello, here we go. There's nothing like live typing for realizing how bad you are. theemployeeslawyer.co.uk. So let's have a look at the the pages here. Let's go to one of the pages and then I can show you exactly what I mean. So what we're looking at now are the title tags and the content behind this page to find out exactly what's going on and what we're telling Google about this page. So if I right click and then view page source, I will get to the back of this page. So I've found the first important part, and this is probably the most important part of the back-end code, the employee's lawyer unfair dismissal. Now, as this page, if I flip back to it, is all about unfair dismissal, the important thing is not to mention the business name, which should really only be focused on the home page, but is to focus on employment, is to focus on the page content, which is unfair dismissal. So I might, if I was looking for a solicitor, put in unfair dismissal solicitor, unfair dismissal lawyer, unfair dismissal legal advice. So that should be the title of the page, and changing these can make a big difference to how far up the rankings Google puts you. So we've got the title employer's lawyer. I'm going to now try and find the description. Okay, which is here. And again, this content is important. Dismissal for employment can be the result of many different scenarios. We haven't actually mentioned unfair dismissal in this description, and it's really important that we do, because again it should be telling Google what this page is all about. So the title and the description should be the same and should be telling Google what this page is all about. Going on to the actual content on the page, again, if our targeting of keywords was unfair dismissal solicitor, legal advice help, the H1 title, this is the on-page title that people see, should also say what this page is about, and then that keyword, the unfair dismissal solicitor or legal advice, whatever we're targeting, should be repeated throughout the page. There's some issues with extra paragraph breaks required on the page, and I'll perhaps come back and look at the site for on-page content when we get to the next part, because I'm trying to just deal with the back end at the moment, so I'll use this as an ongoing resource. But what I would say is it looks like a WordPress site, which is great, if I'm right, in that it's easy to change. There's paragraph breaks missing after unfair dismissal, the rules, etc., which can be changed very simply by going onto the page and hitting carriage return and updating the page, and that will look a lot better. And I'll come back to some other changes which you're going to love on this one, Gainer, which will certainly help you to win more business from your website if you're getting clients there already. So you should find that interesting. So what we talked about there was making your title very relevant to the content. So unfair dismissal is the keywords here we're targeting, and making your description also all about the unfair dismissal. And the reason this is important, if I go for a Google search on the keyword I suggested, unfair dismissal legal advice, and we Google that, forget these first three, which are pay-per-click Google AdWords responses. We come down, let's go to the first solicitor, unfair dismissal solicitor, no win, no fee. That's the title tag that I've showed you up here. That's pulled in. Google chooses that from what you put in this title tag, which is why it's vital that it answers someone's search response, because that's the first thing they're going to see. The next thing they normally see is the description, which is the code I showed you in here. So again, that needs to match their search. So if I've typed in unfair dismissal legal advice, this pay-per-click advertisement is answering that question. The government one isn't, citizens advice isn't, and to be fair, no one else is. Or do I seek legal advice for unfair dismissal? Now, the first thing I'd do if I was Gainer now, I would go and write a blog post about unfair dismissal legal advice, UK maybe, or free, and answer that, because it means if no one else has really answered this question, and other people at the top of Google, it might well be worth answering writing a blog and getting people onto the page for that specific search. So there's some good things you could do there to improve things, and I understand it's a new site, you're working on it, which is great timing to come to me, Gainer, because I know we can transform things and make things much better for you in a very fast period of time. And certainly the website lead generation system, which is free to you as soon as you join Marketing for Solicitors, would transform your website, would tell you exactly what you need to do to start getting more traffic and to start converting that traffic into clients. But you're going to get some help from me today on the call anyway, because I'm going to go through your site. So those are the tags we need to change. And if you have images on your website, you also can have tags behind them which tell Google what the image is all about. You haven't got any on there, but they would for instance. If you go to my site, if you hover over an image, it pops up with a description of what I am, what I do, and that's because that's helpful to Google as well. So you put in alt tags and title tags, and it tells Google, again, what this page is all about. So if we go back to the slideshow, this is, again, where you can make substantial changes to your website, substantial improvements. The frightening statistic, which should cost you sleep, and it certainly costs me sleep, for every 100 visitors to your website, 98 or 99 of them usually will leave without taking any action. So they're clearly in need of your service. If we use Gaynor as the example, they're clearly in need of an employment lawyer. They find her website, which I meant to say one thing is fantastic. Gaynor's pinned her nail to the mast. I work for employees. I don't work for employers. This is what I do. I'm a specialist. And as a marketing message, that is incredibly powerful. And so often I meet solicitors that say, well, I like working with employees, but I better say employers too, because I don't want to miss out. I might just get one piece of work, and, you know, rubbish. You're much better off pinning your nail to the mast and going after one or other in this section. And same with any type of law. You know, people feel happier knowing that you're someone that specializes in the type of legal help they are looking for at this exact moment in time. So well done for that. So we've got to stop people leaving our site. We don't want them to come to our site and not take action. And if you look at the financial example on the slideshow there, how much it can actually cost you if you just get your website working better from existing visitors. You know, there's easily, conservatively, £4,000 a month extra fees to come from your website if you're already getting traffic to it, if you work on making it work harder for you and generating clients. So time well spent if you can get this right. So what do you need to do to stop people leaving your site? Here are some of the things. Homepage golden rules. There's navigation issues to look at. Links back to the start, making it easy for people to get back to your site, and all sorts of things here. So let's go back to Gina's site and Gaynor's site, sorry, and talk about some of these things. So the point about the homepage, and the reason I say the reason it's mentioned up here is it's really not very important by and large. In terms of someone finding your website online, the most likely page they're going to go to is one of the inside pages. So like the unfair dismissal page, they're most likely to land there if they're looking for an unfair dismissal page. If they're looking for the employee's lawyer because they've been recommended, then they will come to the home page. So your home page should allow them to get where they want to go as quickly as possible. So things covered there are success stories and costs. I like those, and the story behind it, like that as well. Blog, probably I wouldn't have that there. I would have the list of legal services provided with a link straight through. Although it's at the top here, I think that, you know, if I come on, I think, what does the employee's law offer me service-wise? List of services, and I can click on those and go straight through. Great, that's what I'm after. Recommendations. The other thing I'd have on there is contact me up here, but stress at the bottom of the page, because if I scroll down now, I've lost that contact page. Stress the free no inquiry obligation, free no obligation inquiry. You can get in touch with me now, call me on this number, or email, or fill in the inquiry form, because people need this emphasized several times. We constantly find on the claims website I mentioned that even though it says everywhere free inquiry and obligation, people sometimes are scared of asking the questions. They think either it's going to cost, or have I or haven't I got a legal claim? So they want to. You need to reassure them, you know, more than once that they can make a free inquiry and it won't cost them a penny. In terms of navigation, one of the common mistakes is repeated here, and it happens normally because of the way a website's put together, in that you add services and think about different things. In terms of the client's point of view, the only logical way for your navigation to be featured is alphabetically. You may find that some of these are more interesting than others, hence the changed order. But from a client point of view, if I'm looking for unfair dismissal, I'm going to go along here and I'm going to expect to find it near this end next to whistleblowing. Compromise agreements I expect to find first, then constructive dismissal. So navigation, usually on solicitors' websites, is formed just because it's evolved over a period of time. Excuse me, I'm just going to cough for a moment. Hopefully I muted you there and you were saved, your ears. So navigation should be logical for a client. A logical order for a client is alphabetical order. If I go into one of the legal pages, next thing is, can I easily get back to the beginning, because that's often hard. Yes, I can, and I can even, by the look of it, click the logo. Fantastic. So you made it easy for me to get back to the beginning. So that's good. So navigation, that getting back to the start we've covered. Prominence of one section over the other, we haven't really got that here. We've got navigation that's out of order. We haven't got prominence, so that's good. We're not thinking that, if, for instance, this was all in the employees law and there was one conveyancing page which had a bigger link or was given more prominence, it would confuse the message, but we haven't got that going on here, thankfully. Is there enough content on each section to cover off someone's concerns or questions? Yes, there is. As I mentioned, there needs to be space, gaps between each page to make it much easier to read. And also, what I'd say is probably needs to be subheadings so that it breaks up. People read pages in different ways. Some people want lots of detail. Some people like bullet points. So subheadings would break that up. So on my site, for example, this is a subheading, and then I've got quotes and I've got numbered points to break up the copy. And because it's my homepage, there's links off to the most common visited areas. So if you can put in subheadings and bullet points, it will make the page much easier to read. And then at the end of every single page, what you've got to do is cover off costs. And you've got a what are costs section. But what you need to remember is that most website visitors will only visit between 1 to 3 pages on your website. And the easier you make their job to get in touch with you, the more chance that you've got that will actually happen. So if I'm only looking at 1 or 2 pages on your website, costs should be covered off on all of the services pages. So rather than sending me off to a section, and if you do, link to that section to make it easier, you should cover the costs on the page. So say all initial inquiries are completely free of charge, so I can explain all costing options to you. Then the next line will be free inquiry, no obligation, call me free now on, or fill in inquiry form. So you've got to cover off the key points like costs on every single page to make sure that the user doesn't leave thinking, well, I can't actually, if I go up here, there's no link to costs at all. Fill out form, not sure what that is. Where's cost? Can't see it, can't see it, can't see any cost pages. So because it is such a vital area, if we haven't got an easy way of getting to the cost page, then there absolutely should be a cost bit on each page. And you don't need to go into details. All you need to say is all sorts of costing options available, might include no win, no fee, might not. I'll explain them all with you on a free no obligation inquiry. Fill in the details below. And that would enable someone to make the decision, say, yes, I'm going to get in touch. So we have got to fill out a form link here as well, and there should be different types of different methods for getting in touch. But what I'd say is that form should be on the right hand side of the page, on every page, again, to make it as simple as possible for me to get in touch. Oh, I like this page. We've got headings and subheadings, we've got bullet points, so it's much more following the system. We need some carriage returns. We haven't covered off costs. So again, as soon as you make some changes to this site, if you're getting any traffic at all, you're going to see some improvements by doing what I've said there, adding the inquiry form on every page, making it clear it's an obligation, and adding that call to action at the bottom of every page, as well as on the right. Because remember, if someone scrolled all the way down here, you've convinced me now, you know what you're talking about, there's lots of information, I like what I hear, you've covered off the cost argument. I then say, right, let's get in touch, and there's nothing here. So cover that off by putting another subheading, free no obligation inquiry, call me on X, fill in my free inquiry form, link to that form, away you go. That's going to make a big difference. And the 2-minute trust builder is something I've devised because ultimately you have no more usually than 2 minutes to convince someone to get in touch with you. The 2-minute trust builder is something that I've devised and is available as soon as you join Marketing Solicitors, which shows you just a few other things you can do to convince someone you're an expert at the service you provide and to make it much more likely that they will get in touch with you. So I'll tell you how you can get access to that shortly. The other point is to have as many testimonials as possible. And going back to Gainer's site, there's not a testimonials page, so I'd get that added and start collecting those as quickly as possible. It's one of the things I always bang on about in Marketing for Solicitors, because if you can have more testimonials than your competitors, that alone is likely to lead to you getting more inquiries, because people expect reviews. People use Facebook and use Rated People, Amazon, and they're used to now seeing reviews that tell them about a service and explain, how good that service is in the eyes of the customer or client that's already used it. So collecting testimonials, and many, many, many of them, is absolutely the way to go and to keep going. Interestingly, websites have evolved, and you may have heard of things like live chat. They used to have video walk-ons where someone would walk on and start talking. You couldn't shut them up, which was infuriating. They didn't last long because everyone realized it didn't help. But anything you can do to improve the communication with your visitors to make sure they can get in touch with you and ask you questions is a really good step. There's things like live chat, but the trouble with live chat, if you see it, sometimes pops up and says, "We're here to help you ask a question." It's 99 times out of 100, it's not actually manned and no one's there, so you can't ask a question. There's two forms of software I recommend, which are available to you. I'll mention them both, Engage and the Conversion Genie, and all you need to do is, if you'd like more details about them, because they can both be helpful, just email me on my usual email address. I'm sure you've had a couple from me recently if you've attended this webinar. Reply to one of those and I'll gladly give you the details, because the way they work this is that they let you find out more about the visitors on your site. They instantly generate more inquiries for you, and they tell you what people are thinking. And on your site, for example, it might be they're thinking, well, can I make a free inquiry? Is this going to cost me? What should I do? So this is running through their mind, and after they've looked at your site, they start to think, yes, I'm sure this person can help me. This looks like the right solicitor for me. How shall I make contact? Shall I make contact, or shall I come back later and do it? And that's the worst thing. Many people go away and don't ever come back. So what you've seen pop up on the screen there is the Conversion Genie. Pops up, is manned 24/7, so it's on your site working all of the time. Says, can we help you? So you go, okay, well, let's have a look at this. So we start typing. I'm not sure if So we've asked you the question, can I make a claim? I'm not sure. Ooh, what shall I do? Send your question. So let's send the question off. And the next stage says, okay, well, you've got your question, and that's the important thing. They've submitted a question now. We find that 80% go on and give a name, email, surname, which allow you to follow up, and suddenly you've got a lead that otherwise would have left your site, and because they just didn't know what to do. So fill in the name, send it off, and immediately you get an email when the Conversion Genie is on your site. Now, this is a product that I've developed because I told you I lost sleep about 100 visitors to your site, and 98, 99 of them leaving. We're currently beta testing, and all Marketing for Solicitors members have been offered beta testing at the reduced rate, which will stay low forever. So as I say, if you want to find out about those, just email me afterwards, or if you join Marketing for Solicitors at the end, I will share with you the link to get the Conversion Genie on your site. And it's already on several solicitors' websites, generating leads for them. So first signs at the moment are very encouraging. And the final thing I think I've covered is to say, you've got to tell me at the end of every page exactly what you want me to do, with a very strong call to action. Free and obligation inquiry, call this number, fill in this form. And it needs to be on every page for the reason I said. People are only looking at between 1 and 3 pages on your website. So you have to do that last bit, otherwise it's a bit like sending some plumbing into SatNav where you want to go, and you get within 200 meters and then it just stops, says, well, I'll find the rest of the way now, at which point you think, no, actually I'm not going to go there, I'm going somewhere else. That's what's happening on your website if you don't spell out what you want your clients to do. Now, as I said at the beginning, if you get your website right, and you get it marketed, and you get new content added, and you get new visitors every day, it does a lot of what you need in terms of generating new clients. It will bring you the clients that you need to make your practice successful. So I started with a website because it is the most powerful place to start. I have some clients generating 90% of their new instructions to their website, and they are not spending more than an hour a month managing the suppliers that do everything they need to be done on their website. And that's absolutely the way to go. There's someone who is a Marketing for Solicitors member who's followed my advice and had more website leads in 1 month than he had done ever before, which is music to my ears. As I say, I love what I do now. I very much more enjoy it than when I was a practicing lawyer. This is my happy zone. I eat, sleep, and drink marketing, sad as that may seem. So when someone takes your advice and acts upon it, there's nothing better. And Martin's a cracking chap, and he's done just that, and he's got results. That's fantastic. So if there's anything that springs to mind, and if any of you watching think that's been really useful, please share with me. As I say, I love the feedback. I love to find out what's working, what you're thinking. I'm not quite sure about that. If you have any questions, just keep typing away. Let me have some updates, and that's useful for me. And as I say, I'll happily answer any more of your questions for you. Secondly, your current clients and past clients. If you've got your website working perfectly for you, the next stage I'd suggest is that you need to be doing a monthly email newsletter. Why? Because it's the easiest way to win new instructions, to get recommendations for friends and family. It allows you to charge more in that if someone comes back to you because they've had regular client contact from you, they are not going to be ringing around. They're just coming and saying, help me with this problem, please. And these days, it is incredibly easy to achieve. So I often start with this point with solicitors. Their website's working, say, what are you doing? Are you talking to your current clients? And they say, well, no, we're not, or yes, we are, but it doesn't really work. The main reasons it doesn't work normally are it's not consistent. Marketing rewards consistency, and you have to send something every single month with or without fail to achieve that consistency. If you think 1 month, I've got nothing really to say, then that's you miss the opportunity. And whether the client opens the email or not doesn't really matter. It's seeing your name in their email box month in, month out, so that when they're asked by a friend or family member, I've got a problem, I need a solicitor, who do you recommend? That person say, oh, well, I used this person months ago, and they email every month. So I'll find their email, I'll forward it on to you, and off you go. You've suddenly generated a referral just because of your consistency. So consistency is vital. The other problem with email newsletters is often they're too legal. Solicitors naturally want to go into legal detail because that's what they find interesting, but the client just needs to know, what does this mean to me? What are my rights at work? Have I been unfairly dismissed? What's the key things I should look for? Okay, well, that sounds like it might have been. Now I'll get in touch with someone. Or the email newsletter is all about the firm and not about the client. Any marketing, my marketing definition is clients first. Every email you send, every marketing communication you prepare must be completely and totally all about your clients and talk all about them and not about you. It's absolutely vital you do that. If you get that right, then you get success. There's so much email software out there available now for less than £20 a month. You can set up your email database, and another of the problems is people say is, oh, well, I haven't got anyone on there. There's no point in me having a database. You have to start with one. When I started my business, started with one. Within a year, it was 500, and ever since then, it's been over 2,000. But if I hadn't started, it would still be naught. So you have to start. It's amazing how quickly you grow your database as soon as you have one to grow. So don't think I'll start tomorrow, or I'll get all the files out of the archive and then I'll add them. Start today, add one person, then add another tomorrow, and keep doing that. Even if you added just one a day, that'd be 360 people receiving your email at the end of the year. You only need one a month to come back, and it makes the whole process worthwhile. In terms of one new instruction of average £500 fees, that will easily cover your time, but you'll get more than that because it's a cumulative thing. The more you do it, the more rewards you get. So email newsletters is something I cover in detail in Marketing for Solicitors, including videos showing you how to set up an email newsletter, how to add people to the database, how to prepare your monthly newsletter. We even provide a service which Marketing for Solicitors members receive a discount on, with 10 newsletter articles that they can use for their website, for their email newsletter a month, called Newsletters for Solicitors. And I'll tell you all about that shortly when we get towards the end of the webinar, which won't be long now, in case you're thinking you need to go and do some work, which I'm sure you do. So part 3, joint ventures and referrals. If you're a firm of solicitors, whether your clients are individuals or businesses, somebody out there already has hundreds of potential clients that could be could be working with you. So if you can find good referral partners, this can be transformative in terms of bringing new business. And it's all the reasons I've put up there. It doesn't cost a lot. They're warm leads. If someone's recommended to you, there's much more chance they're going to instruct you. So it's well worth spending time finding joint venture partners. And when you do find those partners, and if we're going back to the employment advice, that would be accountants would have employers. If you're dealing with the employee side of it, as Gainer's website was, then there'll be other business providers, financial advisors, any other professional service providers that acts for individuals, the accountant that does returns for individuals. There'll be other people out there that already have access to your clients. How can you get in front of them? Well, the easiest way is to offer something of value. And thankfully, being a solicitor, you have a lot of value, mainly being your expertise. So it could be that you offer a free guide to unfair dismissal or to compromise agreements, a white paper, or more importantly, you can offer webinars these days that you could put on. If they have a database, as you will do if you don't already yet, with thousands of people on, you prepare a webinar about compromise agreements or whatever the current hot topic is in your area of law. They offer that service to their clients. They register with you. They're suddenly on your email database. You have another 200 people that you can talk to about your service. Now, if you just set up one of those webinars a month with a joint venture partner, in a year's time, again, that would be another 1,000, 2,000 people on your email database who have heard you talk about your subject. They know you know what you're talking about. The chance of them suddenly becoming a client of yours have vastly increased. And when you find referral partners, and it's like anything with marketing or sales, it is a numbers game. You might speak to one or two referral partners, it goes nowhere. You find a third one, it works really well for, and you do it time and time again. When it does work, you must make sure you monitor results, because there's nothing worse than suddenly finding someone that's done very well for your business. You don't even say thank you, don't send anything to them such as a bottle or a hamper or whatever it might be, and they think, well, I've helped that person, but they've not sent me anything back. So once you find referral partners, you absolutely must set up a system to monitor the referrals you're getting, the referrals you're receiving from them, so you can thank them. So the three main things we talked about were getting your website right, getting a client email newsletter, and getting a referral system set up. As I say, the first one, the priority, is your website, and there's so many opportunities there. And I cover in detail how, in the website lead generation system, which I'll show you in a minute, how to get more traffic, how to make your website convert more leads, how to make this all work much better for you. So how would your practice be different? If you had more clients, you weren't spending all your time thinking about marketing, you set up systems, it automated your marketing so that it took place with or without you, how better would that feel for you? How much better would you feel if you've got enough income, you've got enough clients, you're able to just concentrate on doing what you love to do, which is looking after your clients, and your business keeps running itself? How would that feel for you? And that's exactly where I want you to be, and it's exactly where you should be and can be if you take advice and follow that advice and take action. And you know what I've tried to do with Marketing for Solicitors is to make this the easiest decision you'll ever have to make. Because it's guaranteed, as I said, but it's got all the information you need to do all three of those marketing activities I've just talked about in detail, but also 9 other marketing activities, from webinars, how to run a webinar, how to use direct mail, how to get your advertising right, all the key things you'll ever need to do to market your practice are contained. So it's like a Kemp and Kemp or a Butterworth, you know, it's a Stone's Law Justice Manual. It's designed so that everything's in one place for you to make your life as easy as possible. And I share with you the detailed system I want for you, which is choose a tactic, implement that tactic, and then get someone else managing it on a monthly basis so that you're left to do the thing you're best at, which is look after your clients. I said to you at the beginning, you know, I understand your challenge because it's the same for my business. I am best working with my clients. If I spend all my time marketing my practice, I wouldn't have any clients because I wouldn't have any time for them. So I automate everything to make sure that I can spend my time looking after my clients, and it should be exactly the same for you. So join Marketing for Solicitors and you get access to all of these blueprints. You also get access, most importantly, to the website lead generation system, which was sold at £495, but it's completely free if you join today. And this tells you everything in detail that you need to know about creating the perfect website which generates traffic. How to make quick fixes to your site, which we touched on today. It goes into more detail about the changes you need to make your website work. It explains what 60% of your website visitors would rather do, but in which most cases is not present. And I think that was true today. So it says what you need to do. Shows you in detail my 2-minute trust builder, because, as I say, that's how long you've got to convince someone that you're the right person for them. It then shows you how to design your website, to tweak the design to make it work better at converting clients. And then parts 3 and 4 go into how to get more traffic and how can you have more tools on your website, like the Conversion Genie, which generate more instructions from the traffic that is already arriving at your website, which I like that because it's a fix a leaking bucket thing, which if you do once, it's fixed forever. So I'm a big fan of part 4, which is, fixing those holes, because then from every month going forwards, if you're generating 10 inquiries a month from your website, but by fixing problems you generate 15 a month, that's 15 a month every month going forward. So that's another 5 leads a month. If you convert 2 of them, that's 24 more clients a year that are currently slipping through your website. So for me, that's the most exciting area, because you can change that. You can change that really easily, and you would have access today, as soon as you join Marketing for Solicitors, to all 4 of these webinars. They're recorded, they're ready for you to watch. There's tools and precedents with each one of them showing you exactly what you need to do, including the website design, layout and brief, and how to write content for the page to make sure it converts, so that you don't make the mistakes of not having call to action or strong enough calls to action. Takes you through all of that, because this is, as I've said before, if you get a website right, it can be transformative for your practice. So I've gone into detail about the website system because I know it can literally improve your life, to the power of 10 or many more. Also, today, if you join, you get access to these other tools, cross-selling and referrals toolkit. So if you're not sure what to do with cross-selling and referrals, that's all included. That's normally £99. That's free. Same with the advertising success secrets toolkit, how to write an advertisement that actually makes your phone ring as opposed to just fills up space on the page of the newspaper and puts money into the newspaper's coffers. The website lead generation system I've mentioned, all of the benefits of Marketing for Solicitors, and a 30-day risk-free trial. So you sign up today, you try it for a month. If at the end of that month you're not happy, you email me. You actually have access to cancel your payment because it's made from your bank by direct debit, so you're in complete control of that. You can cancel that. You can even keep everything you've had access to by then. This isn't about me trying to trick you. It's about me saying, I know I can help you. Sign up, play with this stuff, read it all, and you'll be amazed at the difference that you'll see with your practice, and you'll have all the answers you need. In addition to all those items, you also get access to me, in that you can ask me questions. You can send me your marketing and say, what do you think of this, Nick? How can I improve it? That's all included in the service as well. You can get a marketing critique from me, which can include a review of your website or an advertisement. I want this to work for you. My idea is that at £50 a month, you just need 1 new client a year and it pays for itself. But if you can get 10 new clients a month, then you're incredibly happy, and so am I. So that's what I strive to achieve. I want you to be generating as many clients as you want so that you can have the practice of your dreams, because life really is too short. There are enough clients out there for you. As I've said, I want to do all I can to help you get those clients. So if you're in a position where you want more clients, I know I can help you. Go to samsonconsulting.co.uk/steady, and you will find the answers to your marketing questions, and you get me on your side. And as I say, I want this to work for you, so I will help you. If you're ready, please dive straight over there and have a look. If you've got any questions, please type them into the box now, and I'd be happy to help you with those. And someone's already typed one up, which is, I don't yet have a website, but I know I need one. Shall I wait until I've got that to join Marketing for Solicitors so I can get the website stuff? No, because most solicitors I've helped with websites have already spent thousands on a website. They come to me and they realize most of it's wrong and it needs redoing. One client had spent £10,000 on a website which had to be completely redone because it just would never produce clients for them. So for an investment of only £50, I'd say spend that investment now before getting your website, and then you can make sure that you get it right from the start. And not only does it save you the time of wasted investment in a bad website, but it also creates a saving of time, which again makes you more money or stops you losing money because your website will be live much more quickly. Any other questions? Craig said, I'm going to sign up now. When can I get access to everything? Membership is pretty much instant. There is some back-end stuff to be done, but within a few hours you'll have access to all of the Marketing Solicitor's resources. You can be up and running. You can be watching the website lead generation system webinars, all 4 of them. You can be asking me questions, reading all of the 12 blueprints, all the other Marketing Solicitor's issues, and on top of that there's a monthly printed issue which gets sent to you as well. So if you sign up, you will get access pretty much instantly, and you can get going. So if there's no more questions, hopefully I've asked everything. If not, follow up with an email to me. Be happy to answer anything after that. If you want access to all of those goodies that we talked about, head over to samsonconsulting.co.uk/steady to get access to all of the documents there and the service, and try it for 30 days. And if you're not happy, you can cancel the payment. Please send me an email, just say so I know I know you're leaving me. You don't have to do that. You've cancelled the payment, no money will be taken, and you're sorted. So I hope I've answered your questions, and I hope you found that useful. As I say, anything else, please feel free to email me. Otherwise, thank you for your time today, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks very much.